Go woke and go broke. The NBA is suffering a massive ratings crash after protest-filled debuts. Many of you are probably aware of how the NBA and the MLB have gone woke. It seems like everywhere today, our sports has been pushing woke politics and progressive ideals. But it's even worse than that. Because, sports used to be something that people would do to relax, grill some burgers, invite your friends, drink up beer, and watch it on the big screen. But now, our sports have become political. Why? Because intersectionalism has infected everything like a virus. Now, I've often said that the woke left is a cult. It's a cult that spreads like a virus, okay? A meme, if you will, that infects people's minds and possesses them to virtue signal and to make everything about politics. So, we're here on Breitbart, and it says how the NBA and MLB have had a massive ratings crash. Now, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about how they went woke, and now they're going broke. But before we do, if you're new to the channel, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell button for notifications for more content. And if you like this video, please consider giving it a share. If you would like to support this channel, you can join me on Patreon. Joining will give you access to a private Discord server. I recently fixed an error where people were not getting their Discord benefits. However, it has been fixed, and now, no matter what tier you choose, you will get an automatic invite to a private Discord server where I myself and others hang out. Come join Fight Club, but don't forget the first rule. Never talk about Fight Club. You just broke the rule. That's 20 lashings. You can join by visiting the link down below in the description. So, the NBA has gone woke, and I want to show you something, okay? Because I'm personally disgusted by this. We've all heard of Colin Kaepernick, however you say his name, and how he took a knee and he made a big deal out of it in the NFL. Well, now that annoying practice of taking a knee, literally bending the knee to the woke cause of BLM, Black Lives Matter, the same movement that's been rioting, looting, shaking down stores for protection money, and terrorizing America.
Come to King's Landing, bend the knee, or suffer the fate of all traitors.
Now I want you to take a look at this. This was posted on just July 30th by Dinesh D'Souza, who says, every NBL player, coach, and even the refs take a knee during the national anthem. We are now divided into two countries, one that loves the traditional symbols of America and one that doesn't. And just to make it clear, the right-wingers and conservatives love America. The left-wingers and Democrats hate America. Don't believe me? Well, look at what they do when the national anthem plays. The incredible amount of disrespect for our country and our people is incredible. You have the police, the actual police, bending the knee like slaves, like servants, like peasants, pledging allegiance to the mighty cult of BLM. And I just want to point out the irony here. You can see them wearing shirts that say Black Lives Matter, an extreme organization which has, done a lot of violence, done a lot of looting, and caused a lot of mayhem for no good reason. Because all they want is power. It's not about racial injustice. It's about control. That's why you've had BLM people attacking political officials, shaking down businesses for money, like organized gangs. And I want to point out the irony here, but the NBA has an extremely large amount of minorities. I mean, if you go through here and you look at them, you can tell that a lot of these people are African American. And these are people who make millions of dollars every year. Millions of dollars. Isn't there a big irony? The message of BLM is that minorities are oppressed. They're oppressed, poor individuals who are held down by the man. And yet, most of the people on these basketball teams are African American, and they're millionaires. So which is it? Are minorities oppressed? Or is this an equal country, a free country, where anyone can become a famous basketball player. But it's not just that. Americans have had enough because the ratings are tanking. Good. Here on Breitbart, the story begins. As the NBA and MLB return from their coronavirus-imposed hiatus, it appears that TV viewers are not interested in what the increasingly woke league has to offer. With both baseball and basketball draped in all sorts of Black Lives Matter and social justice symbolism for their opening games, a substantially smaller amount of fans tuned in to the rest of the week's games. According to Outkick.com, neither league did well. So this is the data that they reported. As for the opening games, Outlook reported that the return of the NBA on TNT saw the following numbers. Lakers-Clippers, 3.4 million. Pelicans-Jazz, 2.1 million. ESPN's MLB return numbers are also underwhelming. That's Yankees-Nationals, 4 million. Dodgers-Giants, 2.8 million. Now, apparently these are really bad numbers for the NBA. Now, Outkick's Ryan Glasspiegel added more rating numbers on Twitter. He said, quote, "To be fair, since I compared the MLB versus the NBA return night 1, here's night 2. And you can see that, they had 900,000, almost a million, then a little bit over a million. The only cause that I can assume that less people are watching the NBA is because they've gotten so woke, and normal Americans, they don't want to relax to have to deal with politics. It's not even necessarily the politics that are the problem, but it is. Because, it'd be one thing if they were actually advocating for something good, but they're bending the knee during the national anthem. Most Americans find that highly disrespectful, and they're also bending the knee to BLM. Like I said, a violent group that has caused nothing but harm and destruction. The average American doesn't want to see that crap. Now, here's why this is significant, because you've also seen the media trying to say that, actually, the numbers are really good. They're saying, oh, wow, the ratings are great. But here's a problem, folks. As Ethan Strauss points out, the MLB really fell off after opening day in general. Both leagues aren't getting the audience one might expect from a nation that's been deprived of entertainment for months. So keep in mind that sports has not been something that's actively been shown on television, so if anything, these ratings should be breaking through the roof. It should be incredible, right? And yet people are not tuning in. Now, I don't watch sports, okay, so I'm not going to pretend to completely understand, all of these things, but I can tell you what the sentiment is, and what people are saying. For example, Pamela Bogey on Twitter says, "I have stopped watching both because of politics. I'm sick of politics." Your average person is very sick of all this. And if you ask me, this is the key factor behind the downfall of the NBA. They went woke, and now they're going broke. And I love it because it is epic and red-pilled. There's a lot of people speaking out against the coronavirus narrative, as in, it's only because of the coronavirus that people aren't tuning in. So Strauss pointed out that, for example, in baseball, you can't blame coronavirus. The virus did not stop people from watching Tom Brady golf with Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson back in May. He goes on to say, you could chalk sagging interest up to the pandemic conditions, but 5.8 million people tuned in to watch Tom Brady hit golf shots into the woods. Golf. Now, golf is one of the most boring sports ever. And, I find basketball mildly entertaining. Mildly. It's really not a big deal. I think sports are so overrated. But if 5 million people are tuning in to watch people golf, then I can't even imagine how bad the NBA must be doing. Indeed, the charity golf match earned record TV ratings in May. Dubbed The Match 2, the game featured Tom Brady, Phil Mickelson, Peyton Manning, and Tiger Woods. Peaked at an amazing 6.3 million viewers, and they raised over $20 million for charity. It sounds good. I certainly hope none of that money went to woke social justice causes, which they probably did. BR549 says, I'm doing my part. I haven't watched that crap in years. But that, my friends, is pretty much the story. I think it goes without saying that if your companies and organizations continue to go woke, you're only going to lose viewership because, guess what? Half of America is either in the middle, not interested, or conservatives. That's what these companies never seem to understand. They want a virtue signal, and they want to be woke because they believe that it's super popular and that everybody supports BLM and their riots of peace. Well, I'm sorry, but they don't. Your average American doesn't like woke politics. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. Let me know what you think about this story down below in the comment section. As always, if you want to support the work I do, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar. And Subscribestar might be the better choice. Patreon may not survive, as it is currently getting what it deserves as Benjamin Owens fans take down that website. So, if you want to donate, there's Donor Box and Crypto. Links are down below. And lastly, one of the best things you can do is simply to share this video. Show everyone how the NBA and MLB is going broke. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.